Alrighty, today is October, what is it, 6th? About 10 o'clock in the morning, behind 601 and 603 fourplex apartments owned by my friend Curtis Lee, who's given me permission to hunt behind here. This apartment was built somewhere between 1913 and 1924. Since it first shows up on the 24 map but not on the 13 map. And on this spot was a house for many, many, many years, from at least 1854 until it disappears, and this replaced it in 24. And there are a few houses next door that have been concreted over, and it's an old part of the neighborhood. Corner Lion and 6th Street. And yesterday and the day before I did some probing in this monstrous yard. That's a joke. Apparently Curtis owns everything to the left of that concrete foundation. I don't think it's a foundation. There doesn't appear to ever have been a building that far on the property line. I suspect it was a property line wall of some sort, or who knows what. And to the right of that is owned by the bowling alley across the street. I did probe out something nearer the sidewalk, across from the Blue Barrels on the bowling alley side. The two most promising ones, one by these 4 flags. I'm thinking it's a brick liner. It's very small though. 2 feet by 2 feet. I don't know what the heck it is. My 5-foot probe still kept going. And over there, I might as well walk over there. Right here in front of this door. There we are. Is a depressed area, and the probe goes down easily enough, and I think I'm hitting stone wall there, so that might be the older privy. Oddly enough, I didn't hit anything between here and the sidewalk, so these might be it. I don't know. Gotta break out shovels and see, though. Skies are cloudy. Already got rained on the moment I pulled up, though it should be clearing up. As to the west, it's getting bluer. Yay. Well, after about 2 hours of digging, we got the first bottle out of the hole, just over 4 feet deep. We've got a couple of shards here and there, but nothing really even identifiable. So this is a good sign. Looks like 1870s. It's got a crude applied string top to it, one of those 70s smooth bases. So that's a good sign. I'm happy with that. I'm unhappy that it's turning to real mucky clay down there, but so far it doesn't look like it's taken on water. That's the important thing at this point. Well, after 6 hours of digging, a big pile of dirt, a couple of feet left to go. Hoping these gin drinkers were more than a 1-bottle gin drinker. Because that's a London Royal gin. Royal something gin. Anyway, and a beautiful early crude schnapps next to it, neither of which I have ever dug. And then what we do have that came out whole over here, bunch of nothings, a whole bunch of nothings. And down here we got a Crawley Town mason and a wax sealer and amber base to somebody, don't know who. That just came out last bucket load. So we're getting down to it. Not much left to hope for, but I still got hope. Well, alrighty. I realize that what we're looking at isn't much, because there wasn't much to look at. The two broken bottles in this first hole on this lot were both criers, especially that blue Royal London Imperial Gin. God, I've dug up 3 broken ones. And schnapps, I mean, they elude me like gold coins, you know, forget about it. I just can't seem to find one. But what was funny about this and worth mentioning is this bottle was the only one with any embossing that was undamaged at the very bottom. Hey, you'd think it would be paneled or something, you know, close to it. It probably is close. Applied top and all of that, yada yada. But the funny thing about it is, in the video, if you paid close attention, I still have a foot left to go, and I'm going, you know, at least there's still hope. Now, hope is the last word I used in videoing this hole. And what comes up? Hope's flavoring extract from New York. Never heard of it. Never seen one. You know, I think next time I will say, you know, maybe there's Indians in there with queens, you know, and maybe I'll dig up an Indian queen bitter, or, you know, maybe there's cabins down there. Yeah, something really cool. Anyway, I just thought somebody other than myself would get a better laugh out of it than I did, because I'll tell you what, for the hard digging we diggers do for what little we get, you know, it's amazing we don't lose our sanity. Oh wait, yeah, that, I probably shouldn't have brought up that subject. Yeah, anyway, there's always hope at the bottom of the hole. Yeah, something like that. So there you have it, the one big find out of that one hole. Thankfully the next hole was loaded, but it was a lot newer stuff, except for a late throw. Stay tuned, I'll bring out all of those little gems. Okay, once again, behind 601, 603 Lion Street. And I'm going to open up privy number 2. I'm assuming it's a privy. Feels like a stone liner, right about where my shadow is of my head. Maybe a little bit over to here. Right in front of that back door, which isn't great. Means I have to get her done. So standing here talking into this won't get her done. That's what the end result of my dig from the day before yesterday looks like. I thought it'd still be a little greener looking since I put the grass back, but like I say, it never seems to work. Well, now for being in the clay cap, that's a good sign. 1890s, so 1870s at the bottom, I'm guessing. Maybe. Yeah, we'll go with that. Well, after about I don't know, hour and a half of digging and 45 minutes of BSing and taking breaks, we have uncovered a pan and a tool top ketchup and a broken topped tool top slick medicine. Now, down in the hole, we have something, looks brown. So we're going to have to dig out something that's brown. Well, you gotta love it when they roll out of the bank. Embossed local medicine, undamaged, apparently. Screaming 1880s, 1890s. Only a foot deep. Yeehaw. Hope they left something old at the bottom. That's all I can say. Well, here's a new local on me. Never heard of. J.C. Carber's King of Pain, Hannibal Moe. Looks 1890s, maybe a little earlier. Possibly 80s. Flat tool top. A slight sliver that I did. I'm hoping King of Pain. If it was as good as they advertised, maybe there's a few more of them. One more. I'd be happy. Well, so here I was, digging along, down below, minding my own business. I climb out to take a break, and what do I see sticking in the wall? What looks like a bottle. I swear. It's just the oddest thing sometimes. And there it is, fresh out of the hole. A slick nothing. Boo-hoo. No writing. But it's 100-year-old plus medicine. Yep, yep, yep. Well, after about 3 hours of digging and an hour of BSing with anybody, we've managed to get a decent little collection going here. Last guy to come out was this 60s looking plain medicine, and probably one of the biggest flasks I've ever dug up in my life. It's got to be a quart. And it looks like an early one with that smooth bottom on it. So that's a surprise. And we got a little syringe with a teal colored plunger and a Wakefield's Blackberry Balsam right there. So we're moving right along. Hey, we're picking up a couple here and there. Surprisingly enough, most of the little medicines are coming out unembossed, these little pharmacy guys, which is usually an indicator of post-1900s, but these are early ones. Why they're not embossed, I don't know. But almost every one of them has a lip chip in it too, so that one doesn't even have a bottom to it. Nope, that's not the one. There's another one that's missing its bottom. Anyway, back to digging. Well, a little after 7 hours of digging and 7 feet deep, I have about half the hole dug down to 8 foot. The other half about a foot, foot and a half left of the bottom level, and that's it. It's been a fun dig. I've enjoyed it. Came away with a Hannibal bottle I never heard of, so I'm happy. Oddly enough, not even any broken Hannibal sodas. Everything else seems to be represented, from inks to medicines and whiskeys and beers. Not one soda. Go figure. Alrighty, out of the second hole, these 3 guys are the only ones that I've latched onto for any length of time. This one fitting right neatly into my cure collection. It's a Sparks kidney and liver cure from Camden, New Jersey. I believe that's the same company that has the amber square bitters looking one with the guy holding a dose glass looking all happy about drinking his cure. Anyway, cool little bottle. I had found one before with a sizable chip in the lip, and so this one took its place. Dug up just about every size of Murray Ray Druggis out of this one hole. At one time, I think I had every size of every variant made. This was one of the most popular druggists in town. The Hofbauer drug company with the Sons was generational. That one was probably the most popular drugstore. Possibly and partly because I think there were more than one drugstores involved. Murray Ray was involved in a couple of partnerships, and then his son took over the business in the 1890s. So any of the Murray Ray ones are before 1892 at least, and most likely mostly in the 80s. This one has the what is it, the W.T. and Company patent date 80 or 78 on the base, I think that is. Anyway, the earlier ones were Shoemaker, Ray and Shoemaker, and then I can't remember who else he was in business with. The real keeper out of the bunch was this bad boy. I found one earlier that had a lip chip in it, very small little flat chip in the lip, and this one came out perfect. So again, this one took its place. Big old bold W.T. and Company on the base. J.C. Carber's King of Pain, Hannibal Mo. And the thing that grabs my attention is it's not Carber's drugstore. There was never a Carber's drugstore as far as I could tell. No research shows up any evidence this bottle should exist. The only family with the last name of Carbers, the one main usual suspect was a policeman, and the listing for them was in the mid-1880s, which kind of fits just about right for this time frame and this bottle. But no information, no advertising, no nothing for the King of Pain. And I dug 3 broken ones out of this hole, I believe, 2 or 3. Yeah, so far I've not heard of anybody digging up another one, so it's scarce if not rare. And I suspect it was short-lived, and kind of in the time frame when people were in the mid-1880s were sort of jumping on the patent medicine wagon and concocting stuff out of their barns, you know, as a side business. I'm sure policemen didn't make a whole hell of a lot more money then than they do today, so, you know, why not? But yeah, a cool bottle, a sunken panel, nice little King of Pain bottle. A lot of digging for 4 bottles from these 2 holes, but what the heck? You know, that was 10 years ago. I can sit back now and not feel my aching muscles about it, but you know, when you're fresh done with the dig, you go, wow, I did what for what? So yeah, there you go.